What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxer coming back at y'all with another one, man. So I got Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis in the news today, man. I was asked by one of my homies or by one of my fam, because you know I call myself my fams. That I was asked if Terence Crawford should have fought Jaron Boots Ennis instead of fighting Israil Madrimov or whatnot. And I wanted to go ahead and get into that, man, because honestly, I feel like this, a lot of people are kind of looking down at Terence Crawford because of the performance. It wasn't the Terence Crawford that, that knocks any, he didn't get the knockout or whatnot. And I want to go ahead and first I want to bring this up. There's two things I want to bring up. And I want to know if you guys noticed this, bro. Do you guys notice that a lot of times, like when a fighter comes off of their most impressive victory, the next fight they seem to, like, I don't want to say like almost struggle, but doesn't look as good. The only person, like, I give you an example. I give you a few examples. Obviously, Terence Crawford came off of his most impressive victory over Errol Spence. I mean, that was, oh my gosh. I could give you Devin Haney. Devin Haney looked, phenomenal. Super, unhuman against, well, I ain't gonna say that. Let me not say it, because unhuman was like what Floyd did to Diego Corrales or Arturo Gatti. But he just looked phenomenal at to me, one of his best performances against Regis Prograis. And then, his next fight was Ryan Garcia. Or even Frank Martin. Frank Martin, most dominant performance against Michelle Rivera, and then his next fight was against the guy that Shakur Stevenson just fought. You know what I'm saying? Like, I noticed that. I've kind of noticed that with guys, like when they have their career best performance, a lot of times like their next fight is kind of like coming off of the last performance. I was trying to see if I could think, and this is just off the top, but I'm pretty sure I could find more if I was just to really pay attention. Even with Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence looked just phenomenal in the Mikey Garcia fight, and the Sean Porter fight, he didn't look as dominant, obviously, but that kind of really don't count for that. Adrian Broner. Wait, Adrian Broner fight Paulie Malignaggi after Antonio DeMarco. Hold on a second, I might be tripping. No, after Gavin. He looked really, really good against Gavin Reese. But I thought his best performance was against Antonio DeMarco, though, so I can't really say that one. But still looked really good in it. But I don't know, I'm just babbling this way. But I've noticed that as a pattern, you know what I'm saying? And then another thing, I noticed that, like, when you have a knockout fighter, right? When they fight somebody and goes the distance, a lot of times, like, let's just say you're used to a fighter knocking out everybody, right? And they fight somebody that and they don't look as dominant, and it goes the distance, they'll automatically say, oh, that person, he lost the fight or something like that. Like, I'll give you a prime example. Triple G, bro. And I've always criticized Triple G for ducking Andre Ward. But I've always, like I said, that's what I love about my channel. I always keep it 100. Triple G was knocking out everybody, and then fought Danny Jacobs, and then Danny Jacobs gave him some good work, gave him some good, good fight. And then they said that Danny Jacobs, that's another one. He fought fought Triple G. He lost. He looked phenomenal in that fight, and then his next fight against Luis Arias, he didn't look so well. That was kind of because of Luis Arias was kind of like running the whole fight. But anyways, they said, a lot of people said that Danny Jacobs really beat Triple G, and I didn't agree, man. I thought Triple G won that fight. I just thought Danny Jacobs made for a good fight. Well, that's kind of what's going on with Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford has a 100% knockout ratio at 147. And we're so used to him knocking everybody out that, he moved up, and Madrimov clearly didn't win the fight, in my opinion, but was awkward, and now, some people feel like Terence Crawford lost. And that still is mind-boggling to me, because I had that fight 9 rounds to 3 for Terence Crawford, bro. But anyways, But to the question, should Terence Crawford have fought Jaron Ennis over Madrimov? Now, here's my thing with that, bro. You guys have to first and foremost think, all right, well, for one, Terence Crawford was paid $2.5 million for this fight with Madrimov, and I don't know how much he would have made with Jaron Ennis, but I'm assuming it'd be around the same market, the same area, right? So here's the thing. Yes, Jaron Boots Ennis is more known than Madrimov, right? Jaron Boots Ennis is a hot star coming up, no doubt about it. But the only thing with that situation is, what does Terence Crawford get out of fighting Jaron Ennis that, or let me put it like this: Madrimov fight offers something to Terence Crawford's career that Jaron Ennis didn't. And what I mean by that is, yes, Jaron Boots Ennis is appears to be the more dangerous fighter, at least for the eye test. But here's the thing, bro. Madrimov allowed Terence Crawford to be a 4-division world champion. That adds on to his legacy. Whereas Jaron Boots Ennis, what does Terence Crawford get out of beating him? I mean, Jaron Boots Ennis has Terence Crawford's old belt. So what does that make him, a 2-time welterweight champion? Like, I'd much rather be a champion in a new division. Like, I'm a 4-division world champion. I wanted a champion at 135, 140, 147. I won a title at, I won a title at 135, undisputed at 140, undisputed at 147, and now I won a title at 154. So now I can say I'm a 4-division world champion. Whereas Jaron Boots Ennis, don't get it twisted, that's my guy 1,000%. Jaron Boots Ennis will understand what I'm saying. Like, that's my guy. I love Boots. But Jaron Boots Ennis doesn't offer anything to Terence Crawford at this point in his career. Now, if Terence Crawford was at welterweight, right, and he had 3 of the belts and he was talking about how you wanted to be undisputed, then okay, I would say, yeah, bro, like, you should have fought Jaron Ennis, but he was already undisputed. The belt that Jaron Ennis has was Terence Crawford's previous belt. So I don't think that Terence Crawford made the wrong move by fighting Madrimov. Like, bro, this does something for my legacy. This further solidifies what's already a Hall of Fame legacy, and now becoming a champion in a new division. You know what I'm saying? So, and also what it does furthermore, right? Check this out. Now I have one of the belts. If Terence Crawford wants to become undisputed at 154, Errol Spence is fighting Sebastian Fundora. I believe the WBC or WBO, one of them belts on the line, bro. I think maybe 2 of those belts are on the line. I think one of them, Sebastian was stripped by one of those belts, I believe. But anyways, bro, that makes it that much closer for him to make that a realization, bro, or at least becoming unified. Like, bro, Terence Crawford is already a first ballot Hall of Famer. But just imagine, like, look at how that looks, man. Like, bro, I was champion at 135, undisputed at 140, undisputed at 147, and then, like, I could possibly be undisputed or unified at 154. Like, my credentials are just crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I personally think that Terence Crawford made the right move fighting Madrimov. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Furthermore, like, Terence Crawford he has already stated that it was getting hard in the Errol Spence fight. The man is finna be 37 years old. In the Errol Spence fight at post conference, he already stated how it was hard for him to make. It's getting, like, hard for him to make 147. I mean, the man is finna be 37 shortly, right? Or if he's not already 37. So it's like, dude, he already stated that it's hard for him to make 147. So why not? So it makes perfect sense for him to move up to 154 and where he would be more comfortable making the weight at. So, I personally think he did the right thing by fighting Madrimov. If Jaron Ennis moves up to 154 and he gets a title, absolutely Terence Crawford has to see Jaron Ennis, or, you know what I'm saying, like, period. But as of right now, I don't think that Jaron Ennis does anything for Terence Crawford in this point in his career. You know what I'm saying? So just to say, and it's almost like, okay, here's the thing. Let me break something down too, because I know a lot of guys are gonna say, well, where is that energy with Canelo and Benavidez? And I'm gonna explain, okay? One of the most obvious differences in between Canelo and Benavidez and Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis is the fact that, well, for one, Benavidez was in Canelo's weight class, right? He was still campaigning in a weight class that Canelo was undisputed in, right? Now, Canelo Alvarez took the belt from each fighter except for Benavidez, and ironically, Benavidez is the fight that we all wanted to see. Now, granted, if Terence Crawford would have been at 147 and everybody and Jaron Ennis would have had the IBF, but let's just say Jaron Ennis was stripped because he couldn't make the weight or anything like that, and then the IBF just said, hey, you know what, we're gonna throw this belt to the winner of Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence, then I would have been pushing. I would have still been pushing, like, yeah, you're undisputed, but you didn't take the belt from the champion, which was Jaron Ennis. But in reality, you know, that's hypothetically speaking. Now, in reality, what really happened was Terence Crawford got the WBO belt from Jeff Horn. Errol Spence got the IBF belt from Kell Brook. Got the WBC belt from Sean Porter, and then got the WBA belt from what was supposed to be Manny Pacquiao, but Manny Pacquiao ended up losing to Yordenis Ugas. So Errol Spence got that WBA belt from, you know, Yordenis Ugas. So he collected all those belts, and then they met, and then Crawford took all those belts from the champion. So that's one thing. And then furthermore, Canelo Alvarez was offered $60 million to fight David Benavidez. All right, ain't nobody offering no damn Terence Crawford no damn $60 million to fight Jaron Ennis. If that was the case, I'm more than sure Terence Crawford would take that. You know what I'm saying? Benavidez has gone on record multiple times saying that he's okay with taking the taking the minimum of $5 million and letting Canelo Alvarez get 60. Excuse me. And Canelo Alvarez still didn't want to take that. Now, also Canelo Alvarez told Turkey that they have to pay him $200 million for him to fight. For him to fight David Benavidez, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, truth be told, honestly speaking, and I've always said this, David Benavidez does nothing for Canelo's career either. The same as Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis. David Benavidez does absolutely nothing for Canelo Alvarez's career. And some of that is his own fault. I can't put all that blame on Canelo Alvarez. Some of that is David Benavidez's own fault. He got stripped for that WBC title twice, right? One of it was because he was doing the cocaine. But the other one was because, he didn't make weight. Granted, it was due to the bubble, that was the pandemic time. But he was stripped twice of the WBC. So you still kind of got to blame him, put the blame on him. And I always felt like, David Benavidez is my bro. That's my brother. I love that man to death. That man has came through for me on a few occasions. That's my guy. But I would not be a true friend if I didn't keep it 100. Like, some of that is, you got to look at it like, well, David Benavidez, you do allow yourself to balloon up way more than what you probably should in weight in between fights. So it's like, you can't put all of that on Canelo. But majority of it does go to Canelo because he is cherry picking around David Benavidez, right? But if David Benavidez would have had the WBC, then he would have had something that Canelo needed in order to elevate his legacy. Unfortunately, he was stripped in the WBC. They're gonna bend backwards for Canelo, and they put the winner of Canelo versus Callum Smith to be the WBC champion. So no, Canelo Alvarez did not take that title from the champion. However, he still has the title, which means he's undisputed. So all in all, David Benavidez does nothing for Canelo's career. But it's still a fight that everybody wanted to see. And obviously Canelo Alvarez is doing stuff like fighting Edgar Berlanga you know, it just seems like guys don't, you know, it just seems like David Benavidez is the only one that has to go through hoops and hurdles to get a Canelo fight. But guys like Edgar Berlanga or John Ryder or Jaime Munguia, they don't have to do anything to get a Canelo fight. So that's another reason why Canelo Alvarez takes criticism. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I would still love to see Terence Crawford versus Jaron Ennis just as much as I would love to see Canelo Alvarez fight David Benavidez. But I feel like we're not going to get Canelo versus Benavidez. And, you know, if we don't get Terence Crawford versus Jaron Bruce Ennis, I don't think it's a duck for the reasons that I just displayed. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?